Franchi I-12 12 gauge shotgun. Sorry for the poor lighting and quote quote studio effects. It's a black gun and I've got a blue comforter on my bed, so the best I could do was to lay down a white bathrobe. Either way, um, yeah, if I didn't already say that, I'm going to kind of ad-lib it. I'm going to try to give you some close-ups here. I guess just most basic thing, this is the 28-inch barreled version of my waterfowling 12 gauge Franchi. It is inertia driven, which means that this nifty bolt has a spring in it and a locking front head. You can see it lock as it goes into battery there and extend as it comes back out. Basically just the recoil of the gun. Oh, by the way, it's been pre-checked. It's completely empty. Anyways, the recoil of the gun is what cycles the action, making it semi-automatic. Benefits to this mean that the forend all along here has no gas piston in it. That has several advantages. First off, you may or may not be able to tell, it's a lot thinner. The piston is normally fat and kind of a large, heavy moving part, so it causes the foregrip to be fatter. If you have smaller hands, if you're a woman, if you've got kids who shoot, whatever the reason may be, if you want a smaller foregrip, that's one of the first benefits. The second, like I already hinted at, is that it makes the gun lighter weight because there's no piston. Third is easier cleaning, because as you know, the piston is cycled in piston-driven shotguns. The piston is cycled by the gases from each shot that's fired, which tend to be very dirty, and ends up getting the piston covered in fouling. Sorry, I didn't exactly rehearse this, so I'm kind of rambling a bit. Trying to think. Oh, drawbacks to the inertia-driven system are more felt recoil. It's not like this gun just knocks you on your butt every time you shoot it, but you can definitely feel a difference. And especially if you're shooting 100 or more shells a day, you'll notice that you're shooting an inertia driven. So to cope with that, Franchi has come up with this. I don't know if you can see the markings there. TSA twin shock absorber butt pad system, which kind of sounds like a bunch of bull, but the cool thing is it's actually not. It's got this removable, obviously I just took it out, gel insert that is very squishy and soft, and you know, especially when it's got the full recoil of a shotgun going into your shoulder, you can feel that and it helps. And then the stiffer rubberized portion there in the back, and like I said, that makes a big difference. But regardless, it definitely still, I'll put that in later, definitely still kicks you harder than the average shotgun does. Other things I like about it is, like I said, it's light. To be specific, at least according to the website, this shotgun weighs 7.7 pounds. So it's not going to be too heavy for you to carry around all day in the field if you're a hunter, which I'm not. But a lot of people say that's kind of key. It's very well balanced, again, due to having no piston here. I'll see if I can splice in a little clip later where I show. I'm pretty sure the balance point is about right here, which, if I can zoom out far enough by leaning, is right in between your back hand and your front hand when you're holding the gun, right where you want the balance. That means it swings very nicely, so if you're having to take lead shots on ducks or quail or waterfowl or, you know, whatever. I understand ducks are waterfowl, I know. I'm just saying, whatever you're shooting at, if you got to swing, even if it's clay targets, which I shoot at the most, when you swing that shotgun, it's going to swing really smoothly. It's not going to be difficult to start or stop motion on because it's so light. Oh yeah, speaking of shooting shells, this thing is awesome. Since it is inertia driven, and I only shoot clay targets, I'm only shooting 2 3/4 inch, 7.5 shot, up to 9 shot. So very, very light loads, which worried me at first. I was scared that since it's inertia driven and those are weaker loads and this is a hunting shotgun, scared it might not cycle well. And for the most part it cycles perfectly. Once or twice I've had a failure to feed, not actually a failure to eject. Just what happens is the very tip of the shell is still stuck in the magazine tube right here, and it won't feed up. But basically I just stick my finger down through the ejection port, pull the back of the shell, whole thing pops up, no problem. It's got a nice little loaded chamber indicator right there, which you can't see right now, but if you, here, sorry for the bad view, once you rack it, as you heard me do, nice little red button pops out there. And if you want it to stop feeding shells so you can eject, you can always push that up, and then when you pull the bolt will lock back. Isn't that a nice sound? Basic button safety here. Kind of a schmancy looking trigger. You can't tell very well here, but they kind of curved it weird. It looks cool, whatever. There's no difference. Very simple positive brake on that. Comes with 5 chokes, which are just your basic cylinder, improved cylinder, modified, improved, modified, and full. And I think the cylinder, improved cylinder, and modified are all steel rated for, again, you hunters. Things I don't like that I'll show. Actually, let me cut it so I can show exactly what I don't like. Sorry about the cut. Like I said, I didn't plan this. Obviously off camera I've stripped down the gun. What I don't like is also what I do like. This right here, all the parts contained in this little circle, is the bolt, the inertia driven operating system. And just what I don't like is that it comes apart into so many particularly small pieces, or pieces like this one, which, if this camera is nice enough, and it's probably not, you can see that line across the top. That line has to be perfectly in line with the firing pin for the firing pin to go through it, because it has this little hole right there. So that kind of makes it a pain to put together, and I can handle it. It's just kind of scary that if you're ever not paying attention and maybe this firing pin shoots out the back when you drop this, that this smaller piece might fall, or this piece might fall, or one of them might break. Speaking of break, this piece goes in the side of the bolt right here and uses this little rubber kind of washer thing around it to put tension on it and stay in. Even though I keep my gun well oiled, you can see right there, it got hard and cracked off on that side. Now, it's been shooting fine and it hasn't popped out or anything, but it just kind of worries me. I don't like when things break on my guns, especially not one of the other negative things about this gun, the price point. I don't like parts breaking on my gun when I paid between $700 and $1,000 for it. Good news is it's so expensive because this is a baby Benelli. This is pretty much the exact same system as the Benelli Super Black Eagle and Super Black Eagle 2. It's a step below that, but a step above the Stoeger 2000, I believe. Either way, same inertia-driven system, all owned by the same company, I think, which overall is Beretta. Don't quote me on that, doesn't matter. But, yeah. So, small parts here. This broke, don't like that. Another thing I don't like is I treat my gun very well. I always clean it as soon as I've used it. I don't let it sit overnight or anything. And I don't normally shoot more than, I'd say tops 250 shells per session. And they're always these light field loads. By the way, this gun is chambered for 2 3/4 inch and 3-inch shells. So if you do want to hunt and use your 3-inch magnums, you can do that. Backtrack again, sorry. I only shoot those light shells, so I don't feel like I've put this gun through a lot, is what I'm getting at. It's always well maintained, well cleaned, uses light loads. But this right here on the barrel, it's kind of, there's the matte finish on the barrel here versus this shinier steel finish, which plugs in to the gun right there. And it's got this tab up top so that I guess the barrel locks into the action. Sorry if I'm not using the exact proper terms, whatever. What's frustrated me about this is that it's loose now. I don't know if you can see that. It turns. And it's not a part that's supposed to screw or unscrew. It's supposed to stay still, to the best of my knowledge. I don't know why you'd ever unscrew it. So it makes it really frustrating to put back together when you've stripped it down and cleaned out your bore and everything. And then this is not in the same place. You have to spend an extra amount of time to line that back up and get it to go in. It is a point of pride with me, though. I don't know if we can point it over there, if you can see or not. Very clean bore. Well taken care of gun. I protect my investments. But overall, yeah, it's a really good gun. I'm happy with it. Gonna stick with it. I just had a lot of hits on my other Franchi inertia-driven video, so I thought y'all might be interested to see my review of it. I guess I'd give it an 8 out of 10 overall. I'd just like to see the basic parts work a little bit better. I'd like to see them do something with the recoil. This pad's great, but I don't know if there's anything more they could do about that. And yeah, I'm happy with it. Thanks for watching. Alright, I almost forgot, as promised, I was going to try to show you the balance point on this gun. It's going to tilt a little bit from side to side because I'm not perfect, but and you see if I'm getting my hand right about in here, and it's balancing. So about this point on the gun, right there is where the balance point is. And that's about where you're going to hold your hands. So essentially in the middle. Nice gun. I also forgot to say, sorry I can't really see the screen very well right here. I heard a lot of rumors about people saying this gun had problems throwing the bolt handle. That's literally never happened to me. Of all the things that has ever happened with this gun, I've never seen it or had it throw the bolt handle on me. Never had to go pick it up or put it back in. You do have to take it out to strip the gun down, but it's not an easy thing to do. So yeah, one more time, thanks for watching. Oh god, hey. That was a 40.
Hey. What do you think, assholes? That's it! Because we flies on